I'm sorry, people. I'm sorry. Let's go. They said no sounds. Less video, audio. I am so sorry. That should be better now. All right, people, that we got the sound going back. Sound's coming back. All right, hopefully sound is back here. No sound. This is live, uncut, unedited. We're back. We're back. Sorry about that, people. Trying to rush to get back. Sorry about that. We're back. We're back. We're back. We're back. All right, this is live, uncut, unedited, people. We ready? I want to give a shout out to my YouTube family, Facebook family. Share the video. Listen, people, we're going to we want some new callers to call in today. And we got enough room to take everybody, but we want the new callers. We want everybody to respect each caller. We need you to respect people's opinion. Some people see it different than the way that you guys see it different. So this is how it's going to work, people. This is live, uncut, unedited. Make sure you guys share this video. This is very important to share this video. Come on in, people. Come on in. The sound is good now. The sound is back. I'm sorry. Hey, Miss Wright, I see you. I see you. I see you. Hello, everyone. All right, we're in. We're in. We had some technical difficulties, but we're back. We're back. We're back. This is live, uncut, unedited, people. We're going to take a couple of callers, and we're going to speak. Lee Eltho Liggins, I see you. I see you. I need for each and every last one of you guys to share this video. Please do that for me. Share this video, and we're going to be talking about it. I'd like to hear what you guys going to say. Please be patient with each other. Hey, this is a type of subject that we all are not going to agree on. So out of respect to each other's opinion, let us respect each other's opinion. Let the person talk. Now, I'm going to let one person talk at a time. Now, if you keep butting in, I'm going to mute you. That's how I'm going to do it. We got 2 call-in numbers. If one number is busy, call the other number. That's how we're going to play this today. All right, we're going to bring some order in the house. Mike King, my boy from Arkansas. I see you, Mike King, all the way from Arkansas. Shout out to Arkansas. They got the youngest mayor in the country. All right. All right, people. Let's see what this comment says. It said, I'm so tired of people got hurt. We just buried my brother-in-law and who was living in Texas, working hard, driving trucks, and had to drive out, and they killed him. And this don't hurt until knocks on your door, and I'm drained, and I do not know what to do. I tell you, people don't know. I tell people, they look at me as entertainment. Oh, Martin, I'm finna get my popcorn out and see what's going on. But guess what? It's entertainment until it becomes your loved one. Then it becomes your reality. Everybody gets a turn to sit on that mourning bench. And everybody gets a turn. Bereavement is going to knock on each and every last one of our doors. It's going to knock on our doors, people. Like it, love it, good or bad, saved, unsaved, crooked, straight, whatever your lifestyle is. We all get a turn. We definitely get a turn. My dear brother, Howard Brown, sorry for your loss, brother. Sorry for your loss. God bless you. Praying for you and your family. Excuse me. Yeah. All right. Excuse me. Excuse me. Sorry about that, people. All right. So I'm ready, people. I'm ready. Just share it. Jamaica, okay. Let's share it. Okay. All right. Let's go. Donald, yes. Sorry about your loss, brother. Definitely sorry about your loss. All right. My YouTube family, I got 2 viewers. Share that video on your page or something. I need my YouTube family to show up. I need you to show up. Mike King, that's my brother from another mother. All right, we can start the show off. You can call in 872-299-8893. 0808. Again, 872-299-0808. Or you can call 872-297-6389. Again, 872-297-6389, people. We're going to, let me put my phone on silent so we won't have no interruptions. And we listen, we want to hear from you. I want some new callers to call in. I want you to call on in because I want to hear what you have to say. I want some new callers to call in. New callers, come on in, call in, people. This is live, uncut, unedited. I tell you, we need some new callers. Chad, I see you. My brother, I see you. Mika Jefferson, Tammy Taylor, I see you. Yeah, can anyone see my comment? Yes. They can see your comment. Yes. All right, they can see your comment. No, he should not be charged as an adult. He should be put, he should be, but he should be put in an institution. Same, okay. All right. All right, come on, people. I'm ready for y'all to call in. 872-299-0808. Call in. All right. I see a caller right there. I see one caller call in so far. All right, caller. I'm going to give you a minute to come on in, and I see a caller calling right now. All right, caller, you ready to talk? All right. I'm ready for you. All right, caller.
Hey, Martin.
Where you calling from?
In Chicago.
Okay.
Out of Chicago.
All right. How are you doing this evening? Huh?
I'm doing fine, and you?
All right. Okay.
I'm doing fine, and you?
Now, I want to hear from you. I want to know what's your take on this 10-year-old. Should he be charged as an adult? Now, you know the story, right?
Yeah, I know the story.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me hear your opinion.
No.
Well, I can tell you a little bit about the story.
Well, my opinion is.
Go ahead. Let me hear your opinion.
I know the story.
Okay, come on. Come on with your opinion then. Come on.
My opinion is he's 10 years. He's 10 years old. So if you charge him as an adult, even if he gets 30 years, he'll be 40 and still young when he gets out. That's not the answer. The little boy, he has a 26-year-old sister, and so he was angry because his mother woke him up early one morning, and he asked her could he have this gaming he had set from Amazon, and the mother said no, and so that made him angry. So while the mother was doing laundry, he went in her room and got the key and stole the key to her gun box lock, took the gun and went in the basement where she was doing the laundry and shot her in the face. And then when the sister called the police, because he went and woke the sister up and said that it was an accident. So the police actually left him in the custody of the family. And so the day after this little boy shot his mom in the face and killed her, he went and logged on to her Amazon account and ordered that headset, that gaming headset himself.
Oh, okay.
And was walking around the house and had the nerve to ask the sister, "Hey, did I get a package from Amazon?" And when they wanted to see what he was talking about, it was the headset that his mother denied him. And then the sister got scared. They were scared of the little boy.
Okay.
And they called the police and told the police. Yeah.
Now you told us a story. Now come on, sister, tell us what you think. Should he be That's what I need to know.
I don't think that. No, he shouldn't be charged. He shouldn't be charged as an adult. He needs to stay in a controlled mental institution because the little boy was already receiving. He was already seeing a psychiatrist. And the sister told the police that he had rage issues. Okay. So my opinion is he needs to be in a controlled mental facility where he's going to get medication until he's 18. And then when he turns 18, he needs to go to an adult facility. This little boy is calculating and he's dangerous.
Okay.
So he can't. Yeah, they were scared of him. They had cameras all through the house.
Right. Hold it right there.
Afraid of this little boy.
Hold it right there, sister. Don't go nowhere. All right. My caller. 7956. You on live.
How you
7956.
doing, Mr. Martin?
All right, how you doing, Nate? Listen, before you speak,
Hi.
hold on. Before you speak, I want to give up my condolences to Miss Tawanda Banks Sanders. She said, I lost my son to Chicago gun violence on the 17th of October. Just taking his fiance and him to work. I have been tried of the, I've been tired, I guess, tired of the violence in the city. My son was a hard worker, never be in trouble, any trouble. So I give you my condolences, sister. I keep you on my prayer list, and that's terrible. I just want to acknowledge you that before I go on to the next caller. Okay, hold on for me, sister. Come on, brother Nate. Come on. Where you calling from, Nate?
I'm calling from Joliet.
Joliet. Okay, what's your opinion? What's your take?
It's just a heartbreaking situation. You know, our young people today, some of them are lost, don't have no sense of direction. Parents of this young man have failed this young man. Somewhere, someone has failed this little child. So, we just have to love on our children. We have to be vigilant of our kids and pray for our children because so much is going on in this world, and it just breaks my heart.
All right. So tell me what you think now.
When I was 10 years old.
Tell me what you think. Should he be charged as an adult? I need to know that. Go ahead.
I don't think he should be charged as an adult. But I do think, as the young lady, that the lady said, that he needs to go to some type of a mental institution. And then when he becomes of age, that he needs to be transferred to a facility where he's watched and monitored. But I don't think he should be charged as an adult. No.
Okay.
He's sick.
Yeah, he's sick. Okay.
You,
go ahead, Nate.
We need to find out, the parents of this young man, what really happened behind closed doors before we pass judgment, because we don't know what really happened. And,
Okay.
we don't know.
Well, what we do know,
my heart goes out to this young man.
Okay. Okay.
He had issues.
Yeah, hold on.
He was already
hold on.
Hold
on, don't hang up. Hold on. I'm sorry. I did something wrong here. Hold on, y'all. Hey, sis.
Hey, Martin. This is Cynthia. How are you?
How you doing? Good. I'm going to bring you in. I'm supposed to forward my calls in, but hold on. Okay, I'm going to bring you in. Just stay on the line, okay? All right. Hold on. See if I can bring you in. All right. We got Cynthia online. All right, come and talk to us, Cynthia. What you think? You work with children.
Real quick.
Go ahead.
Real quick. So I don't think that he should be tried as an adult because he's a kid. He's a minor. His mind is still trying to. His mind. So kids' brains aren't developed until they're 18. So like somebody else mentioned, there's a disconnect somewhere. And so as parents, we need to recognize problems with our kids, and a lot of parents don't. So Martin, follow me. So I do a peace circle with kids, and all the kids come to the peace circle and they got their phones out. So I'm like, no phones in here. I need you guys' undivided attention. So I got a kid as young as 4 years old. So remember the stuff that these video games, these kids get programmed to this stuff. And so as a parent, if you just buying kids video games, they go in their room, you're not spending no time with them, they on the internet, they become programmed to this stuff. So at this point, it's pretty much the video games raising them. And so now these kids have spent all this time in the room. So now it's like it's psychologically in their brain. They're going to do whatever it is they need to do to get whatever it is they need to get. And so as parents, you have to, and I think somebody said he had mental issues. I don't know if his parents or anybody addressed that issue or got him the help that he needed, or was it easier to just, or was he calmer when he was playing his game? And so, since he being quiet and playing the game, he not bothering nobody. I'll just let him be. And so at that point, when the mom possibly told him no, he exploded. So we have to be more in tune with our children because the signs are there. There's no way it baffles me when I hear parents say that they can't control their kids because that's a kid. You that oh my goodness, it's just because I deal with kids, Martin, and I
I
can say
know.
this. And I deal with all type of kids. Some of those kids that come in my circle, I'll be like, whoa. But at the end of the day, I can pretty much tell you about every kid and what they're going through just based on the stories they tell and how they act. But see, these kids now have developed a level of respect and trust, and I can get them to do anything that I need them to do, as opposed to the other parents. And the other parents trying to figure out, or the instructors, why the kids are so keen to doing what I say. But that's because when I see a problem, I correct it.
Okay. So you said no, right?
No, sir, I don't
Okay.
think you should.
Okay. Cool. You can hold on for a second. Don't hang up, Cent, real quick. I got another caller. I got a couple of more callers. Okay, hold on. All right. I got caller 1506. 1506. Come on in. 1506. Come on in.
How you doing?
How you doing? So the question is,
I'm doing well, Mark.
okay, question is, and I got another caller right behind you, just holding on, waiting to come in. The question is, do you believe that this 10-year-old should be charged as an adult? I just want to ask that question. You can just, if you want to give me an example of something, tell me something that's okay. I just want to throw the question out there. Okay, go ahead, my sister. Where you calling from, first of all?
I
What-
do not think he should be charged.
Okay,
I'm in Michigan.
Michigan. Okay, go ahead. All right. So tell me.
Yeah, I don't think that he should be charged as an adult.
Okay.
I believe with that charge would come. Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. Go ahead.
You hear me? Oh, okay. With that charge would come consequences that I don't think should happen to him. I believe that he has a mental illness. I believe in our community, and I'm speaking of the Black community, there's a lot of ignorance surrounding mental illness. A lot of us are in denial that it even exists. I've even heard people not want to take their young children to the psychiatrist or to counseling, saying, I don't want to get these quote unquote Caucasians or white people writing things about my kid down in medical files. I don't want people calling us crazy or calling my child crazy. You know, you cannot deny if somebody has an illness. And I'm sure that he was showing signs of something being wrong prior to committing this crime. Yes.
And he was seeing a psychiatrist.
Okay.
Oh, okay. And then in some cases, it's rare, but in some cases, people cannot be helped as far as therapy and medications. There are people who are exceptions to the rule, but to put him in prison and try him as an adult, I don't think so. I do think he should be institutionalized. So.
Okay. Hold it right there, caller from Michigan. Let me bring this other caller in. Okay. 5344. You on live. This is live, uncut, unedited. 5344, caller. Where you calling from? Hey, caller, go ahead.
I'm calling from Chicago.
All right. You south side, north side?
Okay. I feel like
Go ahead. Go ahead. Don't worry about it. Go ahead.
Southside Inglewood.
All right. Go ahead.
Okay, I feel like he should be tried as an adult because he thought about it and he knew what he was doing when he did it because you tried to lie about it after you done it. You had no remorse. You asked, was the game, had the game arrived? You did not care that you killed your mother. You knew you killed your mother. You knew you did wrong. That's the problem now. Everybody want to say, oh, they're kids, they're kids, they're kids. But these kids are the ones that's committing crimes. So these kids constantly getting slapped on the wrist and getting right back out and committing more crimes. So you going to just keep letting this child commit crimes because he's only 10 years old? No, he needs to be stopped.
Okay.
He should be tried as an adult.
Okay. Do you have any children, young lady?
Yes, I do. 18, 16, and 14. Pregnant now.
Okay. All right. If one of your small children go out
And
there,
none of my kids.
if one of your small children go out there as a teenager, go out there and shoot and kill somebody, would you want them to go to jail? Or if they had some mental problems, you wouldn't, I'm just asking. I mean, there's no right.
One of my kids, yes. and you kill somebody, then you have to deal with the consequences. I cannot sit up there and condone that type of behavior. No, I will not. Yes, you will have to deal with the consequences, especially if you knew what you were doing when you did it.
Oh, okay.
You
Now,
thought about that. You took that lady keys and went and got her gun to shoot her because she said no. So what if you walk up to what if he walk up to a stranger and decide he want to ask this stranger for $1 or whatever it is he want from a stranger and the stranger deny him? You gonna shoot this stranger? No
okay.
means no. Accept no.
Okay. Do you agree that that young people brains and their minds is not fully developed as an adult?
Yeah, to a certain extent.
Okay, well,
But when
tell me.
you sit up there and you think about it, and you actually put this into play, you knew what you was doing. He knew what he was doing. You didn't accidentally shoot your mother. You purposely shot her because she said, no, I'm not buying you this video game. But guess what? Nobody mentioned the father. Where's the father?
Okay, well, the father didn't shoot the mother, so we focusing on the young man.
No, I know that, but he's not in. Right, I know that. But what
Okay.
I'm saying is, where is the dad?
Well, hold that thought. I want to ask y'all. Hold it, y'all. Hold it. I want to ask this question. Somebody wrote a question up here. Man, y'all making excuses. His mom got him the help. Y'all talking about he has a history of violent and arsonist behavior. He broke into his mom's locked gun box, stole the weapon, aimed it, and shot his mother. Lied about it, then ordered a DIAM game, man. So that's what one person said. All right. Now, let me put up one more comment before anybody comment. All right. Let me put up one more comment. Now, I want to ask each one of you guys. I'm going to start with the young lady first that just called in from Inglewood. I want to start with her first. She feels like that he should be charged as an adult. She said he knew better. He plotted on it and all that. So, not questions I'm going to pose to the young lady. Last lady just called from Inglewood. Somebody turn their phone down. Turn Facebook down because I hear some echo. Turn it all the way down. Turn it down so we can't hear the echo. You can just listen to me. It's a little slight delay. Okay, that's better. Just matter of fact, turn it off because I still can hear it. Or just put your phone on mute, one or two, while we talk. I'll call you. Okay, young lady. The question I want to ask you is, so you said that he should be charged an adult. You agree? You gave your reasons why. You said you do have children. He maliciously went out and shot his mother. So do you understand anything about mental illness or mental disabilities? I want to ask you that question, and I'm going to go on to the next person. I'm going to ask you first. Do you know anything about mental illness or disabilities? Go ahead, young lady from Inglewood.
So that's why his mother also was giving him help. So you just disregarded everything the psychiatrist has ever talked to you about and everything. You still just did what you wanted to do. So do you really have a mental problem, or are you just a menace?
Okay. All right. Just hold it right there. Cynthia, let me hear you real quick.
Yes, sir. What's the question?
The question is, do you understand what a mental illness is or a mental disability? Do you understand what that is?
Sir.
Tell me in your own words. Go ahead.
That means that his brain, there's some type of disconnect in his brain. And remember, he's still 10 years old. So at 10 years old, if he gets tried as an adult, I mean, what do you think will happen to him? I'm not saying that he shouldn't be tried because he committed a crime. However, there needs to be, he needs to go to juvenile and be evaluated and probably not tried as an adult. No.
Okay. All right. Nathan, go ahead. The question, question is, do you understand mental illness, mental disability, mental illness? Do you understand that?
Yes.
Yes, I do.
Well, tell me about it in your own words.
Yes, I do understand. Well, in my own words, I feel that, by him being 10 years old, mental illness, that's something that's his brain is not quite developed as a young child. So a lot of times when we are children, we do things that if we're not being taught by the parental guidance or whatever, we do things based off of instinct versus a mental illness that even though you know right from wrong, but then you choose to go out here and commit, crime and do things no matter what somebody tells you, that you just have it made up in your mind that I'm going to do this and I don't care what people think.
Okay, hold it right there. First caller, sis, go ahead.
Yep. Yeah, no, I understand the difference, but like the last guy just said, at 10 years old, you're not able to make sound decisions until you're at least 16, and that's what the law says, at least here in Illinois. So at 10 years old, and I mean, this boy already had a history of rage to the point where his mother had to have cameras throughout the house to watch him because the sister told it. So he doesn't need to be tried as an adult. He needs to be in a controlled environment facility for the criminally mental insane.
Mm-hmm.
What he did was criminal, but it's because he's mentally insane.
Okay.
And he doesn't need to be in a regular prison. He needs to be in a controlled environment for the criminally, mentally insane. He's insane. He's a sick little boy, and he needs around the clock therapy, and he's a threat to the public because he's criminally insane.
Okay.
There's a difference between being mentally ill and criminally insane. He is criminally insane. He murdered his mother. He's only 10, and he has a history of having bouts with fits of rage.
Okay.
So he needs to stay in that the mentally ill facility.
Okay.
When he gets 18. I mean, he probably should never be out. We don't know. We don't even know.
Right. Hold it right there, sister. I need to get to. I got two new callers. Just hold on. Two callers. Okay. 1605. Where you calling from? 1605. Where you calling from?
Inglewood.
Inglewood. I got another Inglewood in the house. Inglewood in the house.
Inglewood.
All right. Come on, brother. The question is, I know you heard the whole conversation. The question is, do you understand mental illness or mental disability? What's your take on that? What is it in your own words? That's what I want to know.
In my own words, as being a father that lost a son to gun violence, I understand it.
Okay. Now, all right. Now, hold on. Before you even get started, let me acknowledge this other caller. And I'm gonna come right back to you because I need you to tell your story. I know who you are. Hold on. Hey, new caller, 8966. How you doing?
How you doing?
I'm doing good. I need you to hold. I got one gentleman in front of you, but you'll be able to hear everything. Okay. I just wanted to acknowledge you. Okay. Where you calling from? South side? West side?
Southside Inglewood.
Okay. Oh, we got many Inglewood people.
Inglewood.
Okay. Let me get back to the other caller. 4106, 1605. I think that's his. Come on, Brother Donald. Talk to us. Tell us your story. Brother Donald.
I lost Dion. Hello? Yeah, I'm here, Marty. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. Come on with it.
Hello?
I hear you.
I lost Dion. Dion J. Williams is my son's name. I lost him March 9th, 2019, from a young man playing with a weapon. And it discharged and it hit Dion in the back and severed his aorta, they said. So, he was charged as a juvenile. And he was given probation because that's how our laws is in Illinois. Even though the young man killed Dion, I still tried to forgive him. I have forgiven him, right?
Right.
I did ask, was he going to get mental health? Because not only was my family destroyed, but his family was destroyed for his actions. And that's the biggest part that we all forget. We all talk about it, mental health and what's needed, right? But if we don't see it put to action, then who is it benefiting?
Mm-hmm.
The young man, he killed his mother. He killed his mother. We can't second guess what the court's going to do to him. Now, if it was Illinois, we could probably figure out mainly what they're going to do. They're going to charge him as a juvenile. They're going to get him mental health, and they're going to probably release him to a family member. So different states is different.
Okay. Since I know your case, I want to ask you a personal question. Do you feel like the young man that killed your son, and they both were teenagers, do you feel like that, did he get punished enough for you? Was the punishment, was it a tap on the wrist, you think?
It was a slap on the wrist. And the reason I say that, because for the fact is that the young man showed no remorse. He violated his house arrest 5 times. He was told to be one place. He felt going out and playing basketball. He was told not to contact. They tried to contact. Some of his friends tried to shooting up at my son. So, it was like no remorse. And, and then the really thing that really hurted me was when the judge told him to turn around and look at me and Melinda and tell us that he was sorry for taking Dion's life. And he couldn't do it.
Okay. Lord have
mercy. He just turned around and looked, and the judge told him, "You better get him." His mother couldn't even say she was sorry. It took the father, a man talking to a man, to come to me and tell me, "Hey, my son took your son's life. It's nothing I can stand in front of you and say to me." So I kind of appreciate that the father took the lead to come to me and say he was sorry. That kid right now is playing football, but he don't know. He's set a series of stuff in motion. Dion died March 9th, 2019. July the 3rd, 2020, his mother took her life because she could not deal without dealing with her baby.
No.
So, there's a lot of stuff that's placed in motion. When the hugs and kisses is gone, us parents is put into this club that we don't want to be in. His birthday was just December the 2nd. He would have been 17 years old. That was hard on me. I know a lot of people is giving their opinion, and I read them, and it's just their opinion. But unless they sitting in my shoes and feeling my pain, you just don't know what I'm going through. I lost a son and a woman within some parts because of the simple fact is, she beat cancer. She did everything. She felt her fight, all that fighting she did, she felt it was worth nothing without her 13-year-old baby laying out there in the cemetery, and when she's laying next to him, that's how confident she was to be with him. And she was getting all the mental health she needed and everything. But she still, chose to take that route.
Okay. Now, I want to ask you a question, Brother
So
Donald.
as a father, go ahead, Marty.
I want to ask you a question. Do you think the Illinois statutes, when it comes to juvenile crimes such as shootings, carjacking, murder, do you think it should be a little stiffer, or what do you think? What's your thoughts? I mean, because I know we talked about this and we had two different opinions, but just tell the people.
Okay, let me say this.
Okay.
Let me say this. Donald Williams because by me being the head of the Deion J. Williams Foundation, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just don't want this to mess up what I'm moving that foundation
Okay.
in a movement. As a father, let me say this: as a father, I don't advocate for no child to be locked up, but the laws do need to be changed a little bit. I understand when we lost that brother Floyd, what up there, a lot of lawmakers changed the laws to try to help, and we did need it. Don't get me wrong, we did need some of these laws changed, but in changing them, they left the loopholes in there, and you could tell the actions on the street. The shooting, the killing, the red lines, the carjackings. You carjack, you go to court, you back out, you go into doing it again. So, we just gotta reach out to our lawmakers in Springfield to ask those brothers and sisters, don't push and advocate how we want them locked up, because that'll never happen. But what we do want them to do is to fix it. And you forgot one thing, Marty.
Yeah.
You forgot I had a son that also got caught shooting the gun off.
Right.
And because of the laws, he returned fires at the people that was trying to kill him, but he got caught with the gun, and he ended up getting caught. And he was given supervision.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I told them, that's all he get.
Mm.
So yeah, our laws do need to be fixed, but it got to take us to come together and ask them to fix it. Not advocate saying we want them locked up, because that'll be a no-go. But we can ask them to amend them to where is it that it's more stiffer, for them to know these juveniles know that they're getting slaps on the wrist. They could quote the law better than us. So that's something that we need to come together and work on. Is for that, And if I offended anybody, I apologize. But it's
no
just
problem. That's your truth.
how I feel.
All right, we were respectful. Go ahead, sis. Go ahead. 36.99. Go ahead, sis. Go ahead. Shani. I don't know if she's still on.
I'm here.
Okay, go ahead. You want to say anything? I'm just going down.
Yeah, I'm here.
Because I know I let him talk, because I had called him earlier and I told him I want him to call in and tell us about. But let me just say that before you get started. The number is 872-299-0808 or 872-297-6389. I need some first-time callers. Come on, call on in. And I want to give condolence to every family member that lost a son, a daughter, a uncle to gunshot violence. So we're real sensitive to that point, and we're talking about teenagers now, people. We're not talking about adults. But go ahead, Shani. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just again, criminal, mental versus disability are two different things. That little boy doesn't have a mental disability. He is criminally insane. So you said, do we know the difference? He's criminal, but he's mental. So that's the difference between a disability. People that have mental disabilities don't go out and shoot people in the face because they want to take their car and their phone and their wallet. That criminal, mental, insane, there's two different elements. They're not the same. Somebody with a disability can be medicated and they'll know how to act, and they might act up off meds. That little boy he might not be able to be rehabilitated at all because he's methodical. It's not that he didn't know what he was doing. He, like the guy said, he acted out of impulse, out of anger, because the sister said he has bouts with rage. When he gets so mad, he rages out.
Mm-hmm.
That, So he needs to be in a controlled facility environment for the criminal mental people, because what he did was criminal. Does he need to be charged as an adult? No, but he definitely doesn't need to be around anyone. He's 10 years old, so who wants that little boy in the classroom with their 10-year-old? I know I would. Because he can't even be trusted in an arts class. You get mad because somebody didn't give you their cookie at lunch. You're gonna stab in the eye with scissors. I mean, this is what this little boy does. He's a rager. So you tell him no, and look what happens. So he needs to be in a facility for juveniles. He needs, and then when he turns 18, he needs to go somewhere for adults that are criminally insane. He might not never be on the streets again, because if he's pulling this type of stuff at 10, he's only going to get deeper into his sickness and anger as the time goes on. If they let him get away with this, they're making a big mistake. Big.
Okay. Hold it right.
He's dangerous at 10.
Yeah, hold it right there. Let me go to the messages now. The ones in the message. This affects everyone, whatever color you are. We all are in this world, and we all have kids. We need to help our youth because they are lost out there. They think that this all fun and games until someone loses their loved one. Now, a question I want to ask you guys: would you send one of the people said in the comments? Would you send a 10-year-old to war to fight? I want to ask that question. Now, this is a question to my panel. All right, I got a new caller. Hold on. Hey, new caller. 0941. I see you. Where are you calling from?
That's Marcus.
Oh, what's up, brother Marcus? Well, since you're here, Marcus, I know you've been holding for a while. Let me ask you a question. You can ask another question too. Would you send a 10-year-old to fight in a war?
No, honestly, no. A 10-year-old, hell, I don't really think an 18-year-old should be fighting a grown man's war. But a 10-year-old, no. And what this 10-year-old boy did, I feel that he needs to be put in a juvenile facility and then transferred to an adult facility when he become an adult, because he committed a crime. He knowingly committed a crime because he couldn't have his way. And we've all been kids. We've all said things that we didn't mean to say to our parents. I remember when I was 10 years old and I couldn't have my way, but never would I have thought to pull a gun on my mother and kill her, because I love her. So I love her more than some materialistic thing. He needs to be made an example to all the others. You got 10-year-olds out here carjacking people, putting guns on people, and will kill you over your car. So he needs to go to jail. He needs to be in a juvenile facility, though, until he become an adult and transferred to the penitentiary as an adult. He needs to accept responsibility for what he did. Unfortunately, he's going to accept it at an early age.
Well, can I ask you a question?
As far as sitting in the war, no.
Yeah, can I ask you a question? Should he serve life in prison?
He took a life. Yes.
Okay. Now,
he took a life.
That
person can't be resurrected.
Okay. You work with young people. You do art. You do different things, photography and things like that. So you will say, I'm just asking the question now. Send him to jail, lock him up. Would that you don't think he would be able to be rehabilitated? I'm just asking a question.
I can't say that he can't be redeemed because God. I'm just saying God can do anything, but in our society, if you kill somebody, justice needs to be served. And unfortunately, he made a mistake, and he needs to pay for it. And that means he needs to be locked up. He needs to be made an example for those that are coming up behind him. Because honestly, these kids are getting away with murder, and you can't resurrect people and bring them back. They can get parole, but you can't resurrect the people that they killed and bring them back. So they should pay for their actions.
So now let me ask you a question, because you wasn't in the box, and the last question. I got to go to the next person.
Right.
Do you understand about mental illness or mental disabilities? What's your take of that?
Yes, I do understand about mental illness, and there's a difference between somebody being mental, because a lot of people say people do things and they don't know what they're doing, and they go under the mental status. A mental person would have, in my opinion, would not have known to pick up a gun and blow his mother's head off. That's my state on mental. Mental means you don't know. You don't know to do certain things. There are people that kill their own parents over money. They know enough to do that because they want their money to go out there and get their drugs.
Now, but we're talking about
to help their mental illness.
Brother Marcus, we're talking about a 10-year-old. What possibly a 10-year-old. Now, let's use a little science in this. Now, according to science, they said that your brain is not fully developed. I believe it's at until the age of 25 or 21 or 25, according to science. So what's your take on that?
That your brain is not fully developed? I'm not a big fan of science, because science can be wrong at times. I mean, I'm not going to say that a 10-year-old was fully developed.
Right.
But my other take on, how did he get the gun?
Well, according to the story, he stole a key. Go ahead. Yeah, he stole it. He went and stole a key and went in a room and unlocked the gun case that where the gun was in, and shot her. And shot her. So, well,
so he knew what he was doing.
Right. Well, hold it right there, Marcus.
If you mentally ill, you would not know to do that.
I got another caller, guys. Hold it for a second. Hey, caller, 7708. Where you calling from? You on live?
West Suburbs.
Oh, West Suburbs. Hey, my brother, how you doing? All right.
All right. How you doing?
So where you want to start? I'm asking you. We ask so many questions, but before you start, let me read this. Jewel Smith said, I am a mother of a daughter who got shot and killed in 1995. The boy, 25, the 25 boy was in court on that Monday, and he was turned over to the father, who's a pastor and a father. Let him go to the mother's house. And the same week, on that Wednesday, he shot my daughter. I wanted to read that for Jewel. I just left it up there. That's terrible, boy. We got a lot of stories. Okay, my brother from the west side, West Suburbs, come on with it. You go ahead, my brother. Go ahead.
All right. So I want to answer. I got a few things to say, but I want to answer the initial question.
Okay, go ahead.
Should they be locked up? You know, it's hard to say. You want them to face some type of real life consequences, but it's hard to say how much time he needs. As we've seen people who have committed rape, for example, you have the DNA evidence, you have stuff on video, and we've seen them walk. So it's hard to say how much time this particular child should get. I do believe they should have some type of consequences, some type of punitive consequences. But there are so many sentencing disparities in this country, it's just hard to say how much time. But I do want to say this thing about jail time. I think it does more help for the general public than it would for this child. So, yeah, it'll keep him off the street and it'll help us out, so he off the street. But I don't trust the system to rehabilitate him. I don't believe that they're going to put any resources behind this child enough for him to reintegrate back into the general public. And so I wouldn't trust that process. So if he go get locked up, he needs to stay there, because I don't trust their rehabilitation process. Not because I don't think that he can't be rehabilitated. I just don't trust them to do it. So I want to kind of take it somewhere, and I hope I don't offend no one, because I don't want to sound like I'm blaming the parent. But just how you have to child-proof your home when your child is an infant, and you put the little thing that covers over the sockets, or when you hide all your valuables, when you got crackhead people in the family. You have to know what type of child you have. If they're on medication for mental illness, if they have different type of behaviors as a result in terms of these symptoms, you have to kind of child-proof or proof your home. You can't have no knives around. You can't have no pistols around. You can't have no type of weapons around. You have to know this child. And again, I'm not trying to sound like I'm blaming the parent, but you can't keep this stuff around knowing that this person is a wild card. You just cannot do it. And so you just have to be careful the things you leave lying around. Like I said, just like you wouldn't leave valuables around a crackhead in the family. And so I just want to say that right there. But I want to ask a question too. So I heard someone over here say, you would never do this to your mom no matter how much you loved her. Well, no matter how much some of y'all love y'all kids, y'all put hands on y'all kids, y'all whoop them. So we've seen people who love each other hurt each other. So this is not uncommon. This is just a very extreme example. But you said you love your kids, then why you whoop them? So people who have feelings for each other and love each other to put hands on each other. And unfortunately, he took it to the ultimate level. And this is the last statement I want to say. In terms of mental illness, there's different types of mental illnesses and different symptoms. People who have mental illnesses aren't always having episodes. So you can seem to be fully functioning if you're taking your medication. If you're not med compliant, you're likely to go off. But oftentimes when they're med compliant, they could be in a very vegetative state. So again, it helps the general public, but it don't help them out. A lot of times people who take the medication, they don't like how it makes them feel. And so they just don't take the medication. I don't know if this young man was on medication. I don't know what type of mental illness he had, but we can't treat all mental illnesses the same and think that just because you have a mental illness that you can't display fully functioning behaviors and then another minute snap. Like people with mental illnesses work, they drive cars, they have relationships. So you're not always going to be in a manic state just because you have a mental illness. So there was just a few things I want to say, Mike.
Okay. Somebody's phone is echoing. Well, let me just say this, and I'm going to let you guys respond to this. I want to say this. I mean, every case shouldn't be dealt the same. So this young man did have a history of mental illness. It was documented. According to my sister, she told me she'd been following this case real closely. The gun was put up in the room, locked up in the safe. So all the necessary precautions was taken in this house. And we know here in Chicago, now I don't know how it is in other cities with the carjack. We have a history of 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15-year-old carjackers. We have a history of that here. So we have a history. So immature minds are very impressionable, and they are easily influenced, again, by music, by videos, by each other. As the brother said maybe last week, there are 3 elements that these young people have to face. I added one on to it. I'm going to say his first. He said the first element they have to go through is home. You don't know what they're going through in their home. The second element is school. You don't know what they're going through in school. That's the element. And the third, he said, was the streets. That's another element. And I added on the fourth. I said social media, because most of the young people are on social media. And those 4 things are elements that the young people have to cross path. And it could be deadly, even in their own homes, even in the school, even in the streets, even on social media, because things happen. We have so many young people are killed on a daily basis for social media beef, or for social media, in school, different gangs and things like that, in homes. It's real people. And we all know, those of us have lived a period of time, that the streets, the only thing in the streets is a court date and a death sentence. And we all know that. Any one of us can get got in the streets. So I just want to throw out there, I want to let some of my guests talk. What's that? 7956. I didn't hear from you for a long time. Come on, talk. 7956. Again, people, if you want to call in, 872. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I think I think I'm gonna add a fifth element to that is know who your friends are. Your friends are a very important element because a lot of times your friends or who you hang with is a reflection of how you are raised. My mother didn't allow me to hang around certain people because of their elements of things that they done, and she felt that they were a bad influence. So we have to be mindful of our children that when they are hanging with friends in the streets, we need to ask questions like who are the people that they're hanging with, what are they into, do they go to school, are they doing any type of positive influences? So the fifth element is like the friends that you hang with, and we have to be mindful of that because that could either save a life or it could take a life. But we're trying to save a life.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that comment. Let me see who I got next here on this list. All right. That was 0941. That's who I want to talk to. 0941. That was just you?
Okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead, 0491.
That's me, Marcus.
Okay. Go ahead, Marcus.
You know, the environment. I hope I'm saying this right.
Go ahead.
All of that is the environment. The environment. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
The environment. You have to, I know we live in an age where parents can't afford to move in a neighborhood like Peel Hill, and even Peel Hill, I'm using that as an example. It's bad now. So, but you have to change the environment. The environment, this whole American environment is built up on violence. And so we got this violence, this violence. I'm trying to flirt with saying if you got young kids in the house, you really shouldn't have a firearm in the house. But in this day and age, you need a firearm in your house. And she made all the necessary precautions. So why did this happen? Why did this happen? We need more mental health facilities too. We need more mental health facilities in poverty and poor neighborhoods. We need people who care, not just work there, but who care and is going to make a difference. We got all these buildings abandoned, all these big buildings abandoned, and no mental health facilities. And you got these people wondering about. And then when we talk mental health, we just think about adults. It's a lot of kids out here that's mentally ill and they need help. And we're not fighting hard enough. We hear these politicians saying, vote for me, but we vote for you and you won't even open up a mental facility for young people to be treated. They're stressed out. It's in their music. They see stuff. You see your cousin laying on the street with his brains hanging out his head. That'll do something to you. You know, I don't really know how to explain why this 10-year-old did what he did because it's a shock to me. It's a shock to me. 10 years old. 10 years old. How do you prosecute a 10-year-old? I mean, really, how do you prosecute a 10-year-old?
That's it.
Can anyone answer that question for me?
Okay,
How
hold
do
it.
you prosecute a 10-year-old?
That's good. We're going to answer that question. Give me a second. Let's take a little pause, right? 872-297-6389. Or if you can't get in, 872-299-0808. I got a new caller. Come on in. 8319. 8319. Where you calling from, caller? New caller.
From the south side of Chicago.
Oh, all right. South side in the house?
I'm here.
Okay. Marcus, what was that question? You just, hold on, sister. Hold it. Marcus, what was that question? How do we prosecute a 10-year-old? I want to ask a 10-year-old. I want to ask you that question, sister, but I'm going to let you talk. But I just want you to answer that question. Go ahead. Go ahead, my dear sister.
I don't think he needs to be prosecuted. I'm here. I don't think.
No. Okay. No, okay. We just asking a question. We just asking a question.
Right.
I
know what you're saying.
Okay, but I'm gonna let you give your opinion.
There's a lot of stuff. Okay.
Go ahead, sister. Go ahead, talk.
I'm listening.
Okay.
So I'm saying this as I experience a lot of things. I have a neighbor that I live next door to where they know they kids is 15, 16, but they son be in a whole lot of stuff and he don't even be outside. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Now,
And he be outside.
go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And my thing is what I'm saying, story short, he be outside with all these guns and the mama sits right there when all this stuff is going on. You know, and I just be like, well, can y'all move and go up on your porch without all the stuff? Because when bullets get the ranking, they don't have no name on it. So with the 10-year-old, maybe it was something going on in his head where he felt like he needed to do what he had to do. But I mean, I have a 10-year-old myself, so I can't say that. Because he knew when he did it, when he brung it, he already knew what he was going to do with it. But you prosecute him, then what? He get out in what, 30 years, 40 years? Then what?
Okay, let me say this.
So I live by
Okay. Okay.
I live by a neighbor that watches her kid come out on the porch, him and his friends with all their guns. I really do. So when they outside playing, the 10-year-old and the 6-year-old, it's like y'all want them to be like that too, and they think that's cool when they come out with guns. No, that's not cool. I don't know.
Okay, well, let me read a statute.
So I can't really...
Let me read this. Jay Pay said, in Illinois, a 10-year-old would never be charged as an adult. Each state has their own laws when it comes to juveniles. In Wisconsin, where the 10-year-old is charged as an adult, a judge will decide if it will be appropriate for the child. Wisconsin charge juveniles. So now let me just, I want to throw this at my panel, and I'm gonna let you, my caller, I want you to talk again. I'm gonna give you fair time. Do you believe that a young child, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, can hear voices? Do you believe that?
Oh, yeah.
Do you believe that? I want to ask my dear sister. You believe that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well,
some of
he said that he heard voices. That little boy told the police he heard voices telling him to do stuff. See, I know the story. Yes.
Well, you know what, sis?
So, Martin, let me say this.
Go ahead, Marcus. Go ahead.
You know, I know how people may feel. I don't know how people on this panel may feel about God and the devil, but the devil is real, and a pill can't treat demonic possession. It takes a spiritual. It's hard to explain it, but yeah, he probably heard voices, demons talking to him. They led him to go get the gun, get the key to get the gun. You know, you can't hide stuff from a devil. They know where you're hiding it at. So they possess his mind. People think this is only on movies and cartoons. This is real. It can happen. There's a lot of possessed people walking around out here. They don't know it. And they describe it as mental illness, but it's a demonic illness. That's why they put them in an institution, and the pills and stuff that they give them ain't working, because it's a spiritual thing going on. And that kid heard voices. I believe it.
Wow.
Okay, somebody got their radio playing. Young lady, if you got your somebody got to turn their Facebook off. Turn it off. That's the rule, because you can't listen to us because you're hearing it in real time. And if you're trying to listen to your Facebook, it's going to delay and it's going to be an echo. There's no echo on my end, but I hear somebody turn your Facebook off. Just turn it completely off. You still can read the comments when it, you know, when you.
That's why it's not.
Right, because it's an echo. It's real annoying. So now the reason why I pose that question is because there's a such thing as demon possession. And little children can be born possessed. And when you're possessed, you're not being controlled. You're being controlled by another entity, if I may say, a spirit. Spiritually speaking, for those that understand how this thing works. The brother said it, no matter how possessed you are, there's no medication that can really take it away from you. Maybe the medication can slow you down and may have you slow you down. It could never really cure you, if I may say that. Now, I wouldn't want him to be walking the streets out here, and if he haven't cured and nobody talking, he's not monitored and things like that. Because we do see mentally ill people walking down the streets of the city of Chicago and talking to themselves. I'm not talking about the ones that got earpieces in their ear. I'm talking about literally you have people under the subway, on the trains, on the buses. They talk to themselves as if they was having a conversation with actually a person standing right next to them. Now, all right. Let me read this, and I'm going to let you guys talk. I want my Western Suburb brother to talk too. Some parents know their child. Children need help. Need help. Okay, they are scared, I guess, but they are scared to get help for their children, be if they're their child. Children are taken, they lose their income for their child. Children, they want the money and they don't want to do anything about it. I understand what you're saying. Let me read one more comment and let you guys talk. Dominique said, he's definitely should have been in an institution before this happened. If she needed a gun to feel safe in her home, it's her right to have a gun or weapon, but not with a child with mental illness or behavior problems. She had a decision. So that's what I want to say. My Western Suburb buddy, you want to say anything? 7708, I believe that's the number.
Yeah, that's me.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so it's as someone who's worked in the mental health field, I can explain some of this, or try to explain, because as a country, as a world, we're still trying to figure out what mental illness is. So we're still figuring this stuff out. So just like if you hear about the story of creation, you have the spiritual story and you have a scientific story. So if you talk to some scientists, they'll break it down scientifically, and it'll have nothing to do with the Lord, Jesus, none of that stuff. And so when we talk about mental illness, some people might not even believe in mental illness and think it's a demonic spirit. And I don't think there's no wrong in that. But some people suggest that people with mental illnesses have a chemical imbalance. Therefore, the only way to effectively treat them is to give them medication to offset that chemical imbalance. In my opinion, I think it's more so a Band-Aid, and it never cures this person, because there's no curing a mental illness. If you're mentally ill, that's for life. It just helps maintain them, and again, helps the general public deal with them better. But not every person with a mental illness is displaying these behaviors. So you can be right next to someone and not know they have a mental illness. We should be lucky, the ones that actually display their symptoms. Because some people, it all depends on the situation, or if they're not taking the medication, if you see what the type of stuff that might trigger them. Different people get different triggers, but they're not manic 24/7. Mental illness don't work that way. So who knows what his triggers were, but I think when you have, again, this type of child, yes, by all means, have a weapon at home if you feel unprotected, but you really have to be careful not to have anything that this person can access. Like I say, the same precaution you would take with a crackhead in the family.
Well, what about...
You got to take the same precautions, because...
My dear brother, what about a knife? What about knives, butcher knives and stuff, like kitchen knives?
None of that. Can't have none of that.
Okay.
Can't have none of that.
So basically, you can't cut your food. If you need to cut your food,
you can do it.
Basically,
you got to prepare somewhere else.
Oh wow!
Or just like school suggests, this child is not appropriate for this environment. So similar to what you said, brother, the environment stuff. This child is not suitable for this home. I cannot provide all the support that this child needs. Therefore, I have to voluntarily place him somewhere, because he's not appropriate for this particular home. Same thing they do in school. Some of them kids need to be in a self-contained classroom. You see what I'm saying? Because they can't be in the general population.
Are shut down now.
Can I say
Most
something?
of the facilities are shut down.
Let me just say something, guys, real quick.
Mm-hmm.
And I gotta tell the truth and shame the devil. Tell the truth and shame the devil. All right, this is my comment. I had to say it while it was on my mind. It has been known, I've witnessed certain parents that cannot do, and talk about mothers, they cannot control their children, little children. So what they do is they go seek help, and the doctor put them on medication, and the parents know that they will get a check. Some just don't want to put the work in. They want to put the work in. And you got some female mothers out here because their child have some type of behavior problem. So what they do is let them go see the doctor, and the doctor prescribe them a little small dose of medication, and also that child gets a disability check. So that is a way of means of getting income. And I don't want to sound like I'm God and that, but it has been said. A lot of you women, you need to stop feeding them all them Flaming Hots and all them sugary pops and candy and all that, and the baby's so hyper. And I'm not no psychologist, but I've known cases where women go and they look like the baby a little while and they can control and do all that. They run that baby to the doctor, to the mental doctor, and get a check and apply for a disability for that child. Trust me. I just wanted to throw that out there, and I'm saying it out of respect and out of love to our sisters and even fathers. If you on that board, on that kick too as well, and you see your son and your daughter's out of order, you can't control, and you run them and go get some help, and you know that doctor's going to prescribe him or her some medication, and they're going to be on medicated for the rest of their lives, and you know you get a check. But what I'm afraid of, panel, I'm afraid of those young people that are on medication. They're out there smoking weed. On top of weed, they popping pills, they drinking alcohol, and probably Lord knows what else they're doing. That is a bomb waiting to explode. I'm telling you.
That's a nuclear bomb.
Don't let them.
So Martin, let me say this.
Go ahead, brother.
Well, let me say this. So that stuff does exist. I don't want to touch that in particular because it might be a slippery slope that I don't necessarily want to go down that route with what I'm about to say. But what you said is right on point. We know that happens. But as a parent, let's be honest, you can't control your child even in the best circumstances. After about 12, 13, they come into their own, and you want them to be an independent thinker, you encourage them. I can't hold your hand this whole time. You got to be your own person. You raise them up to be independent, right? And so you can't, at a certain point, you can't control nothing. Once you raise a child, they're their own individuals. So you can try to guide them as much as you want to. But the thing where parents and child butt heads as they get older is because you can't control them. So even in the best circumstances, you can't control your child. That's a fact no matter what's going on. Now alone, add mental illnesses and drugs and all this other stuff that they're doing. But I'm learning that with my daughter. She's 12. No matter what I say, she got her own mind. And I can't, unless I sit there and put some handcuffs on her, she's going to do what she want to do. And I have to respect that and give her some parameters to work up underneath that. But you can't control nobody. In the best of circumstances, that's just a fact. You know what I'm saying? And so, again, add mental illness and all these pills that they take and the drugs and alcohol. Like you say, it's a bomb ready to happen. But I think the fact is, the main fact is you just can't control nobody in general.
Mm-hmm. Well, I tell you.
We can't be out.
Well, they ain't going to run me out of my house.
Amen.
I'm just period. Let me say, hold on, brother Nate.
We can't.
I'm not going to be a prisoner in my house.
I'm not going to be a prisoner in my house. They're going to obey my rules. They're just that.
Well, and I think those are two separate things.
Okay.
Because, right, you can kick them out, but they still going to do it. But that's not controlling it. It's just that I'm not going to stand for that. You got to go or you can't be here. But the fact is, you can't control their personal actions. That's
Of
all I'm
course.
trying to say.
I understand.
You
because
can stand on something and you provide,
I understand what you're saying, but this is what I do. I explain them. I think one brother hit on my live last year, early this year. He said, when you go on a football team, they have rules. When you go to school, they have rules. When you go on the job, they have rules. When you come in people's houses, they have rules. When you get in people's cars, they have rules. Everywhere you go, they have rules. And, I'm like this. Teenagers are rebellious. A lot of them are. And a lot of them need a lot of love. They need some special attention. We need to put down these laptops and these video games and these cell phones and pay attention to our children. We need to stop going in the room, locking up the door, entertaining company for hours, and our children are outside in their room playing around, not being monitored, not being watched, or what they're doing around the house or in the house. That's all I'm saying. And it's a dangerous thing. It's a game that we're playing. This is our best investment. A lot of us parents that are working 9 to 5 or 11 to 7, we are away from our children 10 to 12 hours a day. We have other people that are pouring their spirits into our children, the school teachers, the coaches, the mentors. I've seen a lot of parents drop their children off at after school program. Sometimes that's even longer. After school program, they never go in and meet the staff. They never go in at school. They never go in and meet the teacher that's teaching their children. Then when they meet the teacher, they want the teacher to say, hey, well, your child is have bad behavior. And then now they want to fight the teacher. You got to hold on, parent. This teacher knows what your child is doing when you're not around. That's all I want to say. Because a lot of parents, I've seen, to give y'all an example. I heard over the scanner, a young man was caught with a pistol inside the school. I believe it was a grammar school. And he got arrested and expelled, whatever. And his mama came back up there wanting to fight the teacher. Come on now, do that make sense? That don't make sense. Your son got caught with a gun in school. Now, you as a parent, you want to come back up to school and start a fight with the staff. That doesn't make sense there. My brother, you worked in the school system. You could probably elaborate on this a little bit if you want to, from the western suburb.
Yeah, well, that happens. Oftentimes, it's that parent pistol. They want that pistol back. Or they come up there and want to fight. Half the time, most parents is just going to defend their child no matter what. And they don't know how to really advocate for themselves or their child, but they do know how to act up and cause a scene. But that doesn't do anything but aggravate the situation. And so we need to teach parents how to advocate for their child. They need to be well informed of what's going on before they go up there and act the fool. Sometimes they act the fool first, then find out. They look on the video and all that other stuff, then come back around and I want to bring a plate and apologize to everybody. So it's like, come on now, you know your son now. You know your daughter. They was in here acting up. So yeah, half the time they just coming up there to show out just because that's the only thing they know how to do. Because they feel powerless. They don't know what to do in the situation. But you can't blame them, of course, but oftentimes that's what you see when you see that type of dramatic, those theatrics at the school. They just don't know what to do.
Okay.
But yell and scream.
All right.
Sometimes they just need a hug.
Okay, that's beautiful. Again, people, 872-299-0808. My first caller, Shani. We're gonna close it out with what we have right now on our panel. I'm gonna give each one of you guys 2 minutes to say anything you want to say. But when you hear that sound, lie. You know to stop. Or you hear this sound, tell the truth. Or you hear that, hey, you know your time is up. So go ahead, my sister. You the first one, and I'm gonna go down the line. Go ahead, sister. 2 minutes. Shani, you went to sleep on me? I hear she went to sleep on me. Okay, I'm going to go to 7956. Go ahead and talk. 7956.
I'd just like to say, Brother Marcus, God bless you. All the people on the panel, God bless you guys. And we are blessed to have Martin G. Johnson to have this platform. I've known this guy since the Colonel's protest. He's always been a stand-up gentleman. I just like to say that we just have to monitor our kids, and we just have to love on our children. And we cannot do adult things in front of our kids, and we need to raise them, the correct way, and teach them to do the right thing, and just to be productive citizens. And kids are not grown at 13 years old, so the parents need to be more involved in their kids' life. When they come home from school, they have a rough day at school, or whatever the case is. You can't just let them go in the room and shut the door, and then you don't know what the problem is. Find out what's going on. Take away their phone, take away the TV, whatever you got to do, because that could either help this child and save this child's life. Because sometimes kids need to be heard, but at the same time, we need to let that child know that we love them and we're here to help them, and just try to do our best to be the best parents that we can be. So we know that kids are not perfect, but if we do our job as parents, we can make a difference, and nobody's perfect. So just get involved in kids' life, and get involved in their school activities. Go up to the school, check their homework. Don't never believe when the child said that I don't have no homework. All kids have homework. I had homework, and they say the stuff like, well, I did my homework at school. That don't work. Get involved. Know what your kids are doing, who they're hanging with, and I guarantee you that that'll save a lot of lives and bring a lot of families together. Because a lot of these kids, one thing they think about is Facebook, the internet, and their friends. They don't want to sit at the kitchen table and talk to their mom and dad. I've sat at the table with my daughter many times. So, no, come in and tell me what's going on with you. And she's 19 in college, and she goes to work and doing all positive things, and I pray for her every day. So we just need to get involved in our kids' life, and that's what I'm talking about.
Amen. That's it. That shows cue, brother. All right, my next caller, 0941. Go ahead, closing remarks. You got 2 minutes. 2 minutes, caller.
All right. We need to teach our kids about God more. We need to have dinner table conversations, as I said before on one of your lives, to find out what's going on in our kids' head. We need to listen to them and not always be the one talking. We need to let them tell us what's going on. Because I believe, I don't know everything about this 10-year-old, but I believe that if a conversation had been had, maybe we wouldn't be having this conversation on the air right now. Again, I believe in science too, but I also believe in the Almighty God, because God has worked in my life. I was 10 years old at one time, and I guess the way I came up was different. I grew up in the hood. I grew up in the trenches, but I had a loving, caring parent, a family, not just my mother, aunties, who cared enough to know that I wasn't myself, and they would pick me until they got me to talk, to see what was bothering me, and it was able to work it out. Had somebody put a gun in my hand when I was angry at 11 or 12 or 13 years old, Martin, I wouldn't be on your live right now. Mm-hmm. Because I know how angry I would get if somebody picked on me, and I would have used the gun. But thanks, I had a family, though. I had a supporting family that, too, wasn't going to allow that. So I would say to the parents, to the foster parents, listen to your kids. Teach them about God. Don't let all this other stuff be put in their head. When you learn about God and develop a relationship with God, you will be able to distinguish a difference between the devil and God. God is real. I don't care what the doctors, psychologists say. A pill is a tool, but God makes it work. Peace out.
Peace out. Thank you. Hold on. All right. I got a couple of new callers, people. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. 7708. Go ahead. I got a couple of new callers. Go ahead. All right. Go ahead.
You want me to close out, or you gonna take the new callers?
I'm gonna take the new callers. Hold on, let me see. Hold on. All right, new caller,
Okay.
8211. Go ahead, new caller. Where you calling from?
Hey, what's up, man? Calling from Texas, man. Calling from Texas.
Okay, hey, how you doing, my brother? I'm gonna have to
First of all, I just want to.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
First of all, I just want to say, man, I want to appreciate you because all you talk about, man, it keeps it fat on our brain. That's good, bro, and I love the show. I try to catch it every time. Sometimes I can't share it when I want to share it because I'm doing so much, but I'm listening. You know what I mean? But I just want to say, yeah, parents, we got to be real with ourselves. The situation messed up a 10-year-old, but when a kid is 10, to you new parents, by the time your kid is 10 years old, you should know your kid's mental stability. You should know that. 10 years old, you know when your kid is messed up in the head, when they're going through a phase, when they're hungry, when they trying to hide something. At 10 years old, you should know that by now. Like, you should know that. And just know, I just want to say, just knowing your child can prevent a whole bunch of stuff and being real with yourself. Got to be real with yourself. You know, if the police is always at your house because of you. You know that. Be real. You know if your kid always in the principal's office at school is because of your kid. You got to know your kid. You got to understand your kid and be able to talk to your kid. And also be able to admonish your kid without things getting out of hand. That's all I want to say.
I appreciate you, brother. Thanks for calling. First time caller? All right.
Oh, no, I done called in before, bro.
Okay, good. All right, I got another caller too. Hold on, brother. Hey, caller, 9433. You live, uncut, unedited. Where you calling from?
Hey, Mark. I'm not a new caller.
I know you're not a new caller, but go ahead. I'm going to give you a couple of minutes. Go ahead.
If you put God first, yes. God is real. A lot of people don't believe God is real. Prayers brought my daughter back home. Also raised a 22-year-old with the help of my family. That's why I call you and say it takes a village. So these new parents, yeah, find your kids out. And kids don't come with instructions. They don't come with a manual. I'm going to keep saying that. But if you put God first in everything you do, He won't let you down. He won't. God is real. He's real. So these new parents need to, and yes, you can be your kid friend. You also have to listen to your kids, just like the brother said. You got to listen because being a parent, you're not always right. You can be wrong too.
Okay.
So I think if someone would have listened to that 10-year-old, that could have been prevented. I think that hurted me. I said, whoa, they can't charge this kid. They cannot charge this child as an adult. He's not even developed yet. And then so he probably wasn't even trying to kill his mom. He was probably trying to scare him. But as a parent to the new generation, listen to your kids. These video games cannot raise your child. Go in your kids' room. Turn their mattress up. Search their room. Find out what's going on. Go in their book bag. That's how I was brought up. My mama went through all my stuff, and I thank God for her bringing me up like that. I thank God for them drilling me into some stuff. At a certain time, I had to be on the porch. I couldn't go hang out with everybody. Now, when Sunday morning came, I was in church. And I thank God she covered me with the blood because right now, I pray for all our youth. I cover all them in the blood. You have to.
Okay.
So if y'all don't put God first, to the new generation, you ain't got nothing.
Mm.
And being a mother job is never ever done.
Never done.
It's not a part-time job, it's a full-time job.
Sure.
I don't care if you're working, I don't care if you're going to school. I have left plenty of jobs because of my kids.
All right, sister. We
Tell the truth and
Yes,
shame
I
the
have.
devil.
That's your cue. I got to
Huh?
go to the next person.
Okay.
person. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
All right. 7708. Come on with us. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just gonna close out. I wanna, Martin, of course, appreciate the platform. Heard some wonderful stuff tonight, some moving stuff tonight. And I don't think there's any right or wrong answer. Some people might suggest a spiritual or demonic kind of way to kind of explain what's going on, and some people might go to the science and talk about mental illness. And I just appreciate everyone on here not being dismissive of either or type of explanation. I think everybody tonight really was respected of everyone else's perspective, because we don't know what's going on, and we're still learning about mental illness. But I will say just a couple things. Parents, you need to believe your kids. So if they say they're hearing voices, you can't laugh it off. And you can't necessarily pray it off. You can, but you still might have to follow up with something additional to prayer, because prayer alone may not necessarily get them the consistent, ongoing support they might need. Because of all the environmental stuff, you might want to believe them if they say that. Just like if a kid say that they're in love, I don't care if they say it at 8 years old. As an adult, you need to take it serious, because what does love look like for this child? They may carry out acts that they may think are love acts, like kissing and hugging and grinding. And so we got to believe these kids when they say certain things, because they're going to begin to carry out the acts. Regardless of how developed they are, they see things and they act on things. I've seen kids dry humping on other kids and they can't even get erect yet, but yet they're carrying out the behavior. So we got to believe these kids. And lastly, parents, you got to take more accountability and be honest about who your child is. Little man over here hustling on the corner. He's shooting up stuff. Like, this. Stop being in denial about who your child is and get this child some help. And if you don't have help, reach out to somebody who might be able to provide some type of support. And that's all I'm going to encourage people to do. I appreciate it, Martin.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. All right, my last and final caller, 8319. 8319, come on with it. You got 2 minutes.
I really don't I'm just listening. I really don't have too much to say, but I'm glad you appreciate it and brought me on your platform. But I'm glad to listen to what they had to say for the encouragement, because I have a 10-year-old, and I know when he be on the game, he get real upset. He get the bang of the remote. So I know that mental illness is real, and it starts inside the home. And I would like to get help for my son, because all he want to do is play the game. If I don't pay attention to him, he'll stay on that game all day long. If I'm not, get off the game. Get off the game. Don't do this. Get off the game. And I know it's real. And it started with that game stuff, because he literally been here losing his mind when he can't win or he being defeated on that game. He just don't like to lose, and he's just not a game sports person, but he loves the game. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I like to listen to what everybody said, and I'm going to take heed to what everybody said, because I know it's real about this mental illness. It's real out here. But thank you for having me. I'm enjoying listening to you. I'm going to try to catch in all the time. I catch you when I do catch you, but thank you for having me. I like listening to what everybody said. I'm okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
I need help with my 10-year-old.
And listen, guess what? We all need help, because a lot of children out here, they hooked on them video games, and we use the video game as parents, not just coming down on you. A lot of us use the video games as parents to keep our children occupied. I've heard parents say, well, he don't go outside. He ain't no game. He got to do something. So I just give him the games. He stay in the room with the door closed and play. And I understand, but it's not good. We need that interaction with each other. You know, we don't want the video games being, teaching our children. Because remember, 10 years old, 11, 12, 13, they are very impressionable. Now, we as adults, we can watch a gangster movie and not go out there and repeat it and do it. But their thinking, their perception, it's much different than ours as an adult. We know that. You know, it's like a little child see mom or dad have $200 or $300 land on the table. Oh, we got money. Dad, I need you to buy me another video game. No, that money is set aside to go on the rent or the gas or the lights or to fix our car so we can take you back and forth to work. But the 10-year-old and 11-year-old, they're not thinking like that. All they see is the money. You got the money, but the money is not enough to buy you a video game and do what we have to do to take care what's going on in this house. That's just an example. That's all I was giving. So, sister, I appreciate you. Thank you for holding on. And I'm glad you learned some things. We all learning things. And that's why we all had different opinions. Most of us agree, but some of us disagree. But we didn't cuss nobody out. We didn't call nobody out their name. We had a civilized conversation. And to be really honest with you, is really no really right and wrong answer here. Though, you know, really no really right on. But I'm leaning toward the way of now we shouldn't give him life in jail. That's my saying. Now, should he probably do some jail time? I'm not really sure. I'm not sure. Maybe some juvenile, some help or something. Could he be rehabilitated? I say yes, but are they going to invest the money and the time and effort to really rehabilitate this young man right here? I don't know. I just don't know. That's not my field, but I want to thank all of my listeners. I want to thank my YouTube family. Again, those of you that follow me on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to my page, Martin G. Johnson, just in case if they kick me off of you know what, I'll still be rolling on things. So thank y'all so much. Hopefully, I'm working on a new platform on where I can be on every day at the same time, unless something breaking news comes. So I'm working on it now. So y'all work with me as I work with you guys. Thank you so much. Thank everybody. Y'all know what time it is.
Live, uncut.
And what we do?
Tell the truth and shame the devil.
And the church says what?
Amen.
Good night. Good night, everybody. Good night. Good night.